Well. Everybody was so ready for the Dallas Cowboys to get in pads. Everybody was excited. And the Cowboys decided to shock everybody by signing Jake Ferguson to a 4-year extension. And I am telling you, I don't care what anyone says, this is a very smart move. And we got some people, I understand, people want Micah Parsons to be signed now. But there is something going on with this Micah Parsons deal because they had no problem getting Jake Ferguson done. And I know why they didn't have a problem getting Jake Ferguson done. There's really a lot of logic when you start thinking about it in the grand scheme of things. But I also want to prove to people, because I saw people saying, oh, the white players, they get priority and he jumped the line. He's coming off a down year. The Cowboys signed him and then signed Micah Parsons. Man, let me tell you something. We have very short memory. I'm going to take us back down memory lane. And I want to show you why not only is this not something that's abnormal, I'm going to show you how the Cowboys actually did Dak Prescott way more dirty than what Micah Parsons is being done. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, don't forget at the end to please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member already or subscriber, please do. We have a lot of great things coming this season. Now let's talk facts. Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson's deal is so team-friendly and so great for the Cowboys and so great for Jake Ferguson because it really helps out both parties. Jake Ferguson, injured, came off a bad year. Who knows what he's going to do this year? I think he's going to absolutely eat now that George Pickens is here, and I think this is one of the reasons why the Cowboys went ahead and got this deal done. The Cowboys got this deal done because I think that this dude Ferguson is going to put up some mad numbers with George Pickens here. But let me tell you something. I really want to see how the Cowboys move going forward because I think the real deal is this is all leading to George Pickens. I think the Cowboys is going down the road of they want to start making headroom for signing one George Pickens. And a lot of people don't understand, but the Dallas Cowboys actually have Micah Parsons on a 5th-year option, and it's a substantial amount of money. I mean, it's nowhere near what what was going on with Dak Prescott. So this is a very good deal for the Cowboys as it applies to Ferguson. And I know people don't like it, but Micah is under contract. But I understand why he wants the extension. He don't want to get hurt because he's afraid he won't get the extension. Even though if you look at history, the Cowboys have not only signed 1 player, 2 players, they've signed 3 players after injury, and they still got these humongous contracts. But first, let's just look at Jake Ferguson. Let's congratulate Jake Ferguson. This was huge for Jake Ferguson and his family. He's got engaged, and now this is going to set him up going into his new life. Let's check this out. When you look over here on Athlon Sports, it says Cowboys breaking contract news lands Jake Ferguson $52 million extension. Says the Dallas Cowboys have jumped into action regarding one of their high-profile contract extension candidates. It says on the morning of the Dallas Cowboys' first padded practice in Oxnard training camp, the team has announced they have agreed to terms on a new contract with a rising star tight end Jake Ferguson, who signs an extension worth $52 million in new money over 4 years. The new deal includes $12 million signing bonus, $30 million guaranteed, as reported by NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Congratulations. He had a down year. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think the Cowboys see Jake Ferguson as one of the top tight ends in the league. And I think they believe that he is going to put up top tight end numbers because I think they're counting on Dak Prescott staying healthy. And so this is a very, very good deal, I believe. I believe it's a very good deal for the Cowboys. It says the contract is a historic one in the Cowboys' rich tight end lore, as Ferguson is now the highest paid tight end in franchise history. His new annual average salary of $13 million ranks 7th in the NFL amongst tight ends. Great deal for the Cowboys. And let me add, this is one of the reasons why Jake Ferguson got signed before Micah Parsons. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone else gets signed before Micah Parsons. If I were the Cowboys, I would be working on Ty Smith. I would be working on Deron Bland. I would be working on these players who I know they will probably go ahead and get their deal done now. And they would probably do team-friendly deals too. Not saying they're not going to get paid, but they would probably do team-friendly deals. And when you look at that list, I mean, $13 million, I mean, it is what it is. You know, he didn't try to get $14 million like Mark Andrews, and he tried to get $15 million. He didn't try to do any of those things. $13 million, I'm good. And it goes to show you too, it also goes to show you too that he absolutely loves Dallas. And so for him, this deal is a no-brainer. I get a little wary when I see people start talking about race. You can't, every time something happened and there's a white person and a black person or two different race of people, you can't just jump to the conclusion with no proof other than the players are black and white. You can't just jump and say, yeah, it's a racial issue and white people get treated better. They get to go to the front of the line. That is pure, unadulterated nonsense, and it's irresponsible. It is irresponsible. If we don't have no proof of that stuff, we should not be saying it. And what I want to do is I want to take you back to something, because I can remember that the Cowboys, they did Dak Prescott. Boy, you want to talk about doing a player dirty. Man, the Cowboys were really doing some crazy stuff to Dak Prescott in 2019. Okay, I found this thing on ESPN that's very interesting. It is the transaction. You can look at the transactions for any team for, so many years. And so Dak Prescott could have got a deal in 2019. But rather than the Cowboys giving Dak Prescott his deal, the Cowboys did two very stupid things to me when it pertained to Dak Prescott. Those franchise tags to me were absolutely dumb. The Cowboys should have signed Dak Prescott. And I'm just telling us, I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. But the Cowboys could almost come out cheaper. Just letting Micah play this year, franchising him the next year, and franchising him the next year. I mean, for the money that he's asking, they could probably come out cheaper. Because I'm telling you now, if they sign him to a 4-year deal, it's actually a 3-year deal. He'll be back at the table at year 4, and he probably won't even play. I mean, the Cowboys could play that kind of hardball, because in reality, they almost played that kind of hardball with Dak Prescott. So I want us to think about what the Cowboys did. So Dak Prescott was up for a contract, and that year was 2019. And I can remember this so vividly because I was like, man, I was feeling the same way. I wasn't feeling like it was a racial issue because there was, quote unquote, only one race of people involved. But the Dallas Cowboys, rather than signing Dak Prescott, let's look at what the Cowboys did in 2019 that shocked everyone, similar to how the Jake Ferguson thing shocked everyone by him, quote unquote, jumping over Micah. Look at this. Anybody remember this? August the 20th, 2019. Cowboys gave Jalen Smith a contract extension in 2019. The Cowboys gave Jalen Smith a contract extension rather than Dak Prescott? What? And let me just show you, to really add insult to injury. Do y'all remember when Jalen Smith had that cataclysmic injury at Notre Dame? I'm telling you, Jalen Smith would have been one of them had he not got that knee injury. This dude was crazy with it. But he got that knee injury. He didn't touch the field for the Cowboys until September the 10th, 2017. And it shows here he played 16 games, started 6. He was the comeback player of the year. He had 81 tackles, 50 solo. 2018, he had a better year, 82 121 combos, 82 solo. And so he had a breakout year in 2023. But the Cowboys didn't even have to sign him. The Cowboys didn't even have to sign Jalen Smith. What did they do? They came out and signed him before Dak Prescott. Didn't even have to. Didn't even have to extend it. Not only that, Cowboys did something else that kind of ticked off a few people. Y'all remember when the Cowboys did this? Man, the Cowboys were doing some dumb stuff in 2019. They gave DeMarcus Lawrence a 5-year deal. This is not new for the Cowboys. They were doing Dak all kinds of dirt. And I remember people were complaining about this. They were doing Dak all kinds of dirt because people were like, man, go ahead and sign Dak Prescott. Wait, look above him. Y'all remember Ezekiel Elliott? They signed him to a 5th-year option. Ezekiel Elliott held out. What did the Dallas Cowboys do? They not only signed DeMarcus Lawrence, they not only signed Jalen Smith early, and everybody know, or at least everybody was saying that was a shot at Dak. They signed Ezekiel Elliott to one of the dumbest contracts. What was it, $95 million for 6 years? And these Zeke Elliott apologists, boy, they'll tell you this man wasn't washed and he was this and he was that. Man, I don't care what nobody say. He might not have been washed, but he definitely wasn't this and he wasn't that. That man, one of my followers, boy, he said something that had me rolling. He said that Ezekiel Elliott signed that contract, he said he walked out the office and fell off a cliff. Straight up. Straight up. He fell off a cliff. The Cowboys, look at this. They signed Lyle Collins to a contract extension. The Cowboys signed everybody to a contract extension except for Dak Prescott. And y'all remember what they did? They turned around in 2020. What did they do? They signed Dak Prescott on June 22nd, 2020 to a franchise tag. Dumb. It was dumb to me. Waste of money. The Cowboys could have signed him and made him paid him more than Jimmy Garoppolo and had him on a crazy deal. But nope, they gave him the franchise tag. Dak got hurt 5 games into the 2020 season. 5 games. And I'll tell you this, I was actually glad that Jerry and Steven, that after this, they actually gave Dak Prescott a contract. Guys, not only did they hit Dak with the franchise once, they hit Dak with the franchise twice. March the 4th, 2021. We tripping on Micah? We talking about this is a race thing? This ain't got nothing to do with race. The Cowboys have done this before. They signed Jalen Smith a whole year early. Didn't even have to do it. And then you even think about the fact, signing players coming off of a down year. It's not new. Y'all remember the players they signed coming off an off year? Y'all remember these? Do y'all remember when the Cowboys did this? Cowboys extended Michael Gallup after a down year and an injury. Signed him to a $62.5 million deal. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're still paying for it. We're still paying for it. He signed the deal and retired. He's not the only one we did that for. Coming off of a bad year. Do y'all remember when we did this? The Cowboys turned around Terrence Steele after being injured. 5-year, $86.8 million contract extension, $50 million guaranteed. We already having buyer's remorse. At least some people are saying we got buyer's remorse. So when we think about what the Cowboys have done with Micah Parsons, or what they haven't done with Micah Parsons. Can we stop thinking that there's something abnormal about this? Can we stop saying that Jake Ferguson jumped the line? Jalen Smith jumped the line. Can we stop saying Jake Ferguson had a down year and the Cowboys signed him? Man, they signed Michael Gallup and they signed Terrence Steele coming off of down years, coming off of injuries. Man, I think the only thing that's bad about this deal with Jake Ferguson is the optics. I think the optics. And the optics don't mean that it's wrong. It just is not sitting right with people. It's not sitting right with people because a lot of people want Michael to be signed right now. But I'm telling you, I ain't gonna deal with this whole Micah Parsons contract stuff. It's nonsense to me. But there must be something there. Now, somebody talking. Somebody talking, because today, when Stephen Jones says Micah Parsons has to want to be signed, that's leading me to believe that there must be some people talking. And there must be some years or some number, and I just think it's the years. I don't think Jerry gonna trip on what they're gonna pay him, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe they don't want to pay him the years. Maybe they don't want to pay him the money. I'm finding that hard to believe. I think it's the years because, again, everybody knows a 4-year deal is a 3-year deal and a 5-year deal is a 4-year deal. So you better make sure you get the years you want. And y'all got to think about this. If it's going to be a 3-year deal, the Cowboys could do Micah just like they did Dak and franchise him 2 times. The money would be astronomical by the second tag. He would get some very good money. Probably be what, 100 mil? Probably be 100 mil guaranteed. Only probably about them franchise tags, they come directly off the cap. You don't get the massage those. They come right off the cap. Maybe if Jerry and these guys are figuring the cap's gonna rise, maybe they think they can absorb it. I don't think it's gonna happen. Y'all calm down. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Micah Parsons will be signed by the halftime game of the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all tell me about Jake Ferguson. Tell me about the history that I just gave you on Jerry Jones and these contracts and how he did Dak way worse than Micah Parsons. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.